Okay, are you ready? All right. Okay, here we are. It's me and whoa! It's the little guy. We hope to be able to show you how to do this little gnome house that some of you, since I posted last just a little while ago, that you kind of would like to know how to make. So I worked this morning and made a pattern, and so Dax and I are going to show you how to get it to this point, and then we're going to finish it up over the next couple of days, and I hope that you'll be able to stay with us and kind of help us know if we're doing this right or not. Okay, we're kind of making it up as we go. What do you think, Dax? Are you ready?
Yes.
You ready to do this? Is this anything you've ever done before?
No.
How do you feel about it?
A little nervous.
We're all a little nervous because you know me, I never know if it's really going to turn out. So, all right. So hold on. We're going to get a couple things ready and we'll be right back with you. Okay. So there's my angle on my paper. Then while my paper was still folded, I went ahead and cut my door just the way I wanted to. And I also then, to get my window, I folded my paper again and cut out my window. And so now, this is what gave me the patterns to make the rest of my pieces, okay? So it's just a sheet of copy paper with the corners cut out. There you go. So with that, I knew I needed to make, there it is, the side of my house. So there it is. So again, that's just 8 inches. That's a copy paper. I cut 8 inches and I put a hole in it. So we're going to cut 2 of those. We'll show you that. And then also then our roof needed to happen. So there's our roof one side, and there's our roof the other side, and I put the holes in. So I think altogether this was 3 sheets of copy paper, maybe 4. Doing some little math and very little measuring because I don't like doing any of that. Do you like doing any of that?
No.
Math, measuring?
At school, so no.
So no. Okay. So anyway, I've made my paper pattern. I put it all on a sheet of cardboard and I made the cardboard patterns. I like to make a cardboard pattern because I know I'm going to make a few of these, and so this is going to be nice and sturdy. So the roof measures, this side will measure 6 by 11. Then I have the other side of the roof that is 6 3/4 by 11. And that's because you have the roof put together with this overlap. I don't do miters. Precision, no. No. All right, so that's why that's that way. So anyway, what Dax and I are going to do now is we're going to show you how to use the pattern. So I'm going to have Dax start to lay this out on the styrofoam and draw all of the pieces out for us, okay? All right, you up to that, sir? I want you to show that piece of styrofoam sheeting over there. Pick it up. So that's what this little house is made out of. This is styrofoam sheeting. I get it at the hardware store. So Lowe's, Home Depot, any of those stores, because it's used for insulation. And so this is what I'm using. I use it all over the house for doing different things, but we're going to use it to build this little house today. All right, Dax, so go ahead and put that on the table here. Okay. And then what I want you to do is begin to lay out your pieces. We need 2 of these. One is for the front of the house. One is for the back of the house. So you see the front, we cut out the windows, and the back, we left solid. Okay, so we need 2 of these. And the best way to do this is really to put it right in the corner. So I'm going to put this down here. Put it right in the corner. That way, hold on a second, let me explain. That way, you know you've got a nice flat surface here. You've got at least one nice flat surface there. And then you're just going to draw this out. We're going to lay the pieces out. Let me show you. So on this piece of insulation, I've got my house here. And then when Dax gets it drawn out, we're going to flip it and do it over there. Okay, so we'll get 2 there. And then you're going to do the same thing with the roof. And you're going to do another, well, we won't flip it because we're using this one. Going to put the roof right there. And then our sides are going to go right here, 2 sides. Okay? All right, Dax, go ahead and work your magic and put that right on the edge. It needs to be right here on the edge. And you don't need to draw a line here because that's already the line. There you go. Circle. Wonderful. Then you're going to do this one over here the same way. Make sure everything's nice and straight. Yay! You're really good at circles, Dax. Grandma. So we're going to do this one first.
Do we have 2 of those or just?
You only need one. You're just going to cut around it twice because it's exactly the same size, just like the front and the back of the house. We only need one of those. There you go. Okay, and then we're going to flip it. All right, wonderful. Look at you, you buzzed right through that. All right. So, and then I like to mark them, okay? So, roof, so you can just write roof, roof. Sometimes I forget what the pieces are. Oh, look, you're using your best penmanship. You must have an amazing school teacher.
I already had good.
Back.
I did already.
Back and front.
I already had good handwriting, although it was pretty sloppy because I didn't want to do it neat.
There you go, and these say sides. Okay. So now Dax and I are going to cut out the pieces that Dax has just traced. And I've got this little, it's called, I think, a heat knife. And what this does, you plug it in and this pin gets nice and hot. And so I use this to cut the circles out and anything that's got a curve on it, little windows, because it just goes really nicely to make circles. Using a box knife, it's harder to get the circles, it's hard to get them neat, and so this is a really cool way to go. You could use this tool to cut all of the pieces out. The hard part of about that for me is it takes a while. You have to go kind of slow. I don't like that. So I use a box knife on everything that's straight. The only thing about the box knife, right, is when you use that, you're not getting the nice smooth cuts. You're going to get more like this, the little ruffly, the little bits will be falling off. That won't harm your project at all. And so whatever you wish to do about that. But Dax and I are going to get busy and start cutting this out. And we'll kind of show you a little bit as we go. Okay. So all we need to do then is just basically follow our lines. I don't really need a straight edge to do this. The box knife goes nice and straight. And so if I just hold my piece nice and still on the table, this box knife is just going to go right across all the pieces that I want to cut. And it's going to take me 2 passes. That got me about halfway through, and now I can feel I'm going all the way down. There we go. And then to get, so as you can see, you got all of the little things blowing off. You might not want to do this in your house where you've got carpet. I'm doing this, of course, outside. That's how you go about that. I'm going to show you how to use this heat gun in case you don't know how, and we'll show you how to use it, and then you can decide if you need to go buy one or not. Dax has gone in to play Legos for a little while. I think it's really great that he wants to do this project for me. That shows he's getting a lot more brave, a lot more courageous. He's wanting to show himself to the world a little bit. That's kind of fun for me. So as I finish cutting this out, he's in there playing Legos, and then he's going to come back out and put this together for you, okay? All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut out the door. I'm going to use the box knife to cut out the windows, I think. I've got styrofoam everywhere. All right, and I think this is warm enough now. So we're just, see if I could do this so you can actually see it. You can see it, that just starts melting into the styrofoam. You want to do this outside, okay? You want to use this little product outside. There are fumes from here, right? So for sure outside, and if you're real susceptible to fumes or anything, even a mask, okay? And so you're just gonna use this little knife, and you're just gonna follow your pattern. But you can see how kind of slowly you need to go. I am pushing on it. Uh-oh, I got a little wobble there, but we'll be able to cover that up with a little cement. There we go. I think these are just such cute little houses, and you know, one of the subscribers sent me a picture of a house, a little gnome house that they just completed. It's just so adorable, and now I'm gonna have to try also, because they made, you know, I'm boring. I just made mine regular house shape. I didn't have the creativity to think, oh, I could make this any shape I wanted, right? You could make it a swoosh. That's what this one was. Looked like a little wave. You know, you could really, and you could make it maybe a wavy house. You could make it any shape you want. I'm very excited to see what all you guys come up with, because I'm feeling a little boring now. It's square. It's styrofoam, Benna. You could make it any shape you want. And what are you doing? Square. This is why I tell people, I can do things. I don't think I am innately creative, right? So if you come up with an idea, I can tweak it. But to come up with my own thought, my own idea, that is very rare for me. And so I'm really not creative. I can do stuff. I have skills. That's true. So, and to do this, I'm going to go ahead and just do my window with this knife since it's hot and I've got it in my hand. And I'm actually too lazy to get up and get the knife. But it's as easy as that. So, and what is the upside again to using the heat knife is all of your edges are nice and finished. They're not little pill balls of styrofoam landing all over everywhere. You notice there's no styrofoam pill balls flying anywhere. But it does take longer. So, you know, if I were anywhere patient, that's how I would do it. So just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting all of these pieces out, and then Dax will join us again, and he will come and show you how to put this together using our toothpicks as nails. Okay. So Dax is going to now show how to put this little house together. All right, Dax, so you're going to take the front and one of the sides, and we're going to use, what are we using for our nails?
Toothpicks.
You want to show that to everybody?
Toothpicks.
Okay. So it goes together this way, like that. So the tall side to the tall side of the house, and then you just put the toothpick right. It's gonna go right through it. And you want to leave just a little of the point out, because if we don't, then the front of the house will fall off. So I'm always just leaving some of the point out. Okay, so again, you want to make a good estimate. Good job. Just put 1 or 2 in to begin with, and then put the other side on.
Let me put the other side.
Mm-hmm. And now we're going to put the back on. Go ahead. You can do this because you're a Lego master.
Yeah. I did draw up well the 18 plus before.
There we go. Uh-oh. Push it all together. There. Then we have to make sure everything's nice and square here. Good. All right. So now here's where we have, why we have 2 different sizes of roof pieces. It's because one is going to have to be taller.
So you get this little slant right here for the roof, so it doesn't look weird
Like so. So how I do it is I go ahead and I put my shorter side on first, and matching the edge of the roof with the tip of the, and then see where that's inside there. I want to make sure that the side of the roof is not covering my hole. Okay, now you have to kind of make a good estimate where that, oh, excellent, good for you. Wonderful. Put this one on. Perfect. Now we're going to do this side. This is the one that's overlapping like that. There we go. So now that's on. Don't stand in front of your camera. Look, I'm going to turn it around for you. Okay, so you make a good estimate where that. Wonderful. Yep. Oh, wait, Grandma's fault. I didn't have it lined up good. My fault. Okay.
Here you go.
Okay, put that one back in.
Ooh,
uh-oh.
Right here. Having a hard time getting it to the way it's supposed to be.
Okay. There we go. And there we go. We've got it all put together. All right, Dax, anything of that?
Okay.
You ready to do the next steps tomorrow?
Yes.
All right. Dax is back in with his Legos again for a while. And so here we go. The house I made that's sitting outside, I did before I started using the cement mache, right, or the paper mache practice of doing these styrofoam pieces, or a lot of my art pieces out of cement. And so this time I thought, well, this is a perfect activity to do using the paper mache method of having your bowl of cement, your Cemental ready, and your Handiwipes or whatever fabric that you're using to apply your cement with. The only thing that we'll make sure that we do is take the roof off. The roof will be added last because you do want to cement the inside as well. I don't put a floor on the bottom because I don't want it to hold water, because we've got holes in the roof for the lighting, and we've got windows and things. So I don't, here we'll get mosquitoes, and so I don't want it to be able to hold water, and so I don't put a floor in it on purpose. I can just set it out there anywhere I want in my garden, and it'll be fine. And you know what, it's okay if little plants grow up and out the windows. That's okay too. So excuse me. So so that's when we start doing the cement. We will do it with it put together like this. Okay, so now we're going to see what we can get done on this little house today. I'm going to show you what I did to go ahead and put on the fabric dipped in cement. So fabric dipped in the Portland cement mix. That's what I've got here. I'm going to give you a show on that here just a little bit. But I want to go ahead and move on with this one. Now that it is covered in the Handiwipe strips dipped in the Portland cement, and that's all set really well here, and it's nice and dry. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some water that's mixed with just regular PVA glue, just regular white school glue, and I'm going to brush that on here, and then I'm going to add my Cemental to this, so the stucco coating. So you could apply this water and glue mixture, and I don't really have a ratio. I've just put school glue, maybe 1/4 cup of school glue, and a couple of cups of water, right? And I'm just stirring that up. What that's going to do is it's just going to help the Cemental, the wet mix, stick to this dry mix right here. Brush this on. You could use a spray bottle if you wanted to, a sponge, whatever. I just got this old paintbrush that I'm going to use here just to dampen this up a little. I don't want it soggy. I don't want it coming apart. I just want it wet, just like that. This all damp. I also have the roof put together, so we can also cover that, and then the roof will sit right on here. Remember, you do want to put the cement inside also to help that just stand the test of time. So I've got my cement all mixed up here. Just going to let that set for a minute. And what I'm going to use is just an old credit card. Try not to use those, okay? Just an old credit card that I don't need anymore. And I'm just going to use that to smooth this on. I'll do the sides. I'll do the top. I'll let that set for a bit, and then I'll flip it over and do the other sides. I'll also do the inside here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and brush this. The guys are off this morning. They went early this morning to play some racquetball. My husband's been playing racquetball with this group of guys. Oh my goodness. Well, I've been married 20 years to him, so for at least 20 years. And now he's been taking our grandson with him, and the grandson and some of the sons of the other players, they hang out and do things together. Sometimes they play a little racquetball. Sometimes they just play a little soccer or just run around and have a good time together. Right after racquetball, they're heading over to the soccer field. Little guy has, we've signed him up for soccer, so today is his first practice. I'm not going to practices. So, this is his first practice, so they're off to do that. So I'm seeing if I can get some of this done. And why am I wearing a white blouse? Who dares it to watch me? Ah! I just got up and threw some clothes on, and wasn't really thinking about what I might be doing today. All right. The Cemental is just about there. So they're due back here about noon, and they want some fish for lunch. So I've done a very wise thing. So I don't know about any of you, but I love to cook. Love it. However, I don't want to spend all of my day cooking like I used to when I was raising my family. You know, now I will cook for my husband and my little kiddo once a day. Once a day. I have taught my husband how to cook. I have taught our little guy how to cook. They have the food that's available to them. I even gave our little guy his own pantry shelf in the pantry. So he's got his SpaghettiOs, he's got his ramen, he's got his mac and cheese, he's got hot dogs in the fridge, apples, bananas. Oh, he wanted me to buy him some little oranges. Our oranges on our trees are all gone now. So he can prepare his own foods. So which is nice. When I say, okay, grandma's not cooking anymore today, then they fend for themselves. So I'll be making lunch for them today, but I won't be making any dinner. So I have other things to do. The garden, I've got to be out here having fun. So I have learned to say, you know what, guys? I need my time and space too. I cannot spend the rest of my life cooking for 2 men who do have the capacity to do so. So you can starve if you want, or you can feed yourself. I just let them do their thing. All right, so my Cemental is set here, kind of pancake syrupy like, and I'm just going to put this on. It's going to begin to set and firm up rather rapid. This on here. And this is the coating that's going to, of course, help it stand. See how this is already getting nice and set up there. So if I put this on here and I want it smooth, I'm going to have to use my little credit card here to smooth it out. I like the credit card instead of my cake spatula because it's easier to handle, and I can use it narrowly, or I can use it widely. So anyway, here's what I'm doing. I'm just adding the stucco, if you will, and if I need it to thin out a little bit here, I just add a little of that glue water, and that's going to help me maneuver this and kind of manipulate it a little bit while it's beginning to set. I love Cemental because it sets so quickly, and so if you're not quite as fast a mover as I am and impatient like I am, you can certainly use a Portland cement and sand mix. So just like you normally would mix up your batch of cement with the Portland cement and sand, that doesn't set near as quickly as this. And so you could use that, absolutely. So you can see this is going on here really nicely. Are you able to see it there? I hope you are. I'll get a little closer here. Is that giving me a... There we go. Alrighty. So we're just going to continue adding here. I will put probably two coats of this. So this is going to go on now. I'm going to do the whole house, and then I'll come back around when this is set to do this side again and go around the house again. So 2 times. You could go more. I wouldn't go less because I really want this to stand up and be out in my yard for a long time. So, and not have to redo anything. I don't mind repainting, you know, to freshen things up. That's kind of fun to do. I don't want to have to do really a lot of repairs. There we go. So there's the front. So you see how easily that went on. So it's setting up quickly here. So I'm just going to add a little water to soften it up again, and I can make it smooth with my credit card here. Make sure that you get inside your window sills right there. Make sure you do that too. You can come back around and put little window boxes on that later if you want to. I just might. As we get moving on this project and I get involved in all of the little accessories, that'll be fun to see. Okay, and I'm making sure I'm getting my windowsill over here. And it's okay if it falls through the window because we're going to do the inside of this house also. So we're just putting this in here, making sure the windowsills get filled in. And again, you can be very precise, make sure everything's square and sharp corners. This is a gnome house, you know, it's going to sit out in my garden. I'm not going to be too persnickety about sharp corners on my windows. I don't want them to close up though. There we go. So I want to make sure that my cement isn't going to make my windows too much smaller. There we go. Just like that. I'm going to do my doorway here again, making sure that that gets covered. Just like so. I'm wearing my rubber gloves today. I don't wear them too often, but my hands got really dry last time, so I went ahead and put on some coconut oil on my hands, and then I put my gloves on. You could put a door on here if you wanted to have a door open. I'm just not going to mess with that. I just want it to be completely open, no door. But you take your imagination as far as it will go. I would be so excited to get some messages and some pictures about how yours turned out. There we go. So that's the outside, the front of the outside. I'm going to go ahead and do, since it's laying on its back, I'm going to go ahead and do this part as well. So that in there. And my Cemental, I'm just going to put a whole big glob. There's not a window back there, so this is just going to go on. I'm just going to use my credit card to spread it out. And I only mix up a little Cemental at a time because it does set so quickly. So don't mix up a whole batch to do this house all at once. It'll set up in your bowl and then you'll have wasted it. So just set up enough to do little parts of the house and then mix up some more. So I have this wall done on the outside and the back wall done on the inside. And so as this sets, we will turn it and continue mixing up Cemental. Just continue doing that same process all the way around until the whole thing is set. And then I will leave it set for the rest of the day before I come and put the roof on, because I'm going to do the roof as well. All right, there we go. All right, so I've gone ahead and put one layer of the Cemental all the way around my little house here. I have not done the roof yet. I'm getting ready to do the roof now and wanted to show that. So I did go ahead and take some strips of the Handiwipe and I dipped it in the Cemental and I covered up that seam where the roof comes together. So I've covered that up and now I'm going to put a coating of the Cemental on the roof, and that is going to set that in place. I wanted to make sure that it was going to fit. If I had gone ahead and done the Cemental and made the roof rigid, knowing my math, it might not have set flush there on that arch. And so I made sure to put it on, it's fitting, then I put my toothpicks in place and I put my edging on there to cover up that crack. And now I'm going to cover this side in the Cemental, let that set, and then I will do the arch, these edges, and then I will do the underneath side. I want to make sure that this does not go anywhere until it is completely set, so it doesn't crack or widen or come apart. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just do that. Now, in the same fashion, I've just been doing everything. Got my paintbrush and my glue water, getting everything damp. And my Cemental is still a nice pancake batter, so I can just spread it on here. I can pour it on and let it drizzle, and then I can move it around with my hands. All right, so I'm just going to show you. I can just take this, it's a pancake batter, and I'm just going to put a little bit. It will start to set even as it starts to run down. So you see, it's not going to go too fast. And I can either use my rubber spatula or I can use my credit card or my hands to begin to kind of move that where I want it to be. Just like so. It's okay if it flows into this hole a little bit because I need to cover the inside of that hole anyway. And I'm just going to kind of move this up to the point of my roof so that'll get nice and flat across there where that seam was. and my Cemental starts to stiffen up, then I can take it and actually use it as a little clay and put it into those other edges to fill in. See how that'll smooth out? Yay! It's so great to be out here playing in the mud again. As a little girl, that was always one of my fun things to do, was playing in the mud. Little, you know, mud pies, mud dishes, you know, just getting dirty. I've always loved to just get dirty. I'm okay with being dirty. I just kind of run it along the edges there and just let it fall and shape so I can start getting that edge covered. It's going to set as I work with it, which is kind of cool. There we go. Got this little corner end here. Look, I'm just going to pick up a glob of that off my turntable. Put that right into that corner. Smooth it away. Then I've got my paintbrush with the glue water, and I'm just going to do a quick brush over everything. This will kind of smooth things out. And you've got dips and valleys, and if you want to go back and make all of those absolutely smooth, you can go along and do that too, using your little credit card. Gonna go across there. And wherever you've got some dips and valleys, you can add more of your cement mixture in there. All right. Personally, I'm fine with it. Going to give it that old world character that I want my gnome houses to have. Fill in where my seam is there a little bit more with some of this set Cemental on the edge of my bowl. Just kind of fill that in nicely. Little hard piece. That way that seam is going to be nice and secure. That's not going anywhere, as my daddy would say. That ain't going nowhere. There we go. There, now across that seam, it's nice and straight, and that's what we want. We want to make sure that's all filled in really well. Okay, I'm going to do this back area here real quick. I've still got enough mixture going on here. That's how we do that. We're going to spin it around and do the other side now. Okay? Okay, that's all for today. So look at what we've got accomplished. I put the stucco all the way around, inside and out. I put the roof on and then stuccoed the roof. So I put it on so the roof would be the correct shape, remember, and then I stuccoed it. Alrighty. I have not decided. The roof on the big yellow one I did years ago, the roof is attached. So I haven't decided yet if I want to attach the roof permanently to the house or if I want to leave it as this and just be able to take it off. I can clean out from inside. I can repaint the inside. This one I'm going to paint white inside because the other one I left cement and it doesn't really glow inside the way I want it to when it lights up. So I've decided on this one, I'm going to paint it white inside. So not decided yet if I'm going to make the roof permanent. I don't know. What do you think? Sometimes I get undecided. So anyway, this is going to sit here. I won't work on this tomorrow. It's Sunday, and then I'm at the office on Monday and Tuesday. So this will get worked on again. This particular one will get its second coat of stucco on Wednesday, and then on Friday I'll be able to paint it because I'm back at the office again on Thursday. So I am so glad to be out here with you guys. All right, that's it for today. We'll keep on this project, okay? Okay, here we are, my day off. We're back at it. It's 1:32. The rest of the day is mine until about 5 o'clock. I'll be hosting a parent group this evening for work, supporting other parents and grandparents like me who are raising their grandchildren. So that happens this evening. Anyway, so, but we're back at this. We're able to get some more of this work done on our little house. So I'm out here. We have, I've gone ahead and done all of the cement work on the inside, on the outside. I've done the top, inside, and inside and out. There we go. This is going to now set over here. There we go. Because I want to now work on some embellishments here for this little house. This is where we get to add some things. So you could add like little shutters, little stone things around the doorways. You can add like I'm going to put a little sign across here that says welcome Gnome, or just welcome, or I don't know. But I am going to put like a little plaque across here that says something fun on it. And go ahead and put maybe some window boxes and some trim around the windows. Even some vines up and around. You can put some cement flowers on there, right? So we're going to have some fun now and just play with this. The house in and of itself is completely finished. And so now it's time to have fun putting your embellishments on. What is it you want to add to your house? I want to share again this lovely clay recipe that my friend Linda has given to me, that I've shared a couple of times before here. This much, so this nice softball size. And you really don't want to make any more than this. So you want to make this up a little batch at a time so it doesn't set and get hard. Although there is a lot of play time with this clay. So anyway, what you want to do, 1/3 of a cup of Portland cement. I keep working it so it doesn't set and get dry. I need to put it in a plastic bag. 1/3 of a cup of Portland cement, 1/3 cup Thinset, and I use Versabond that I get at Lowe's. It's a dry tile adhesive that you mix up. So Versabond, and 1/3 cup of white glue. So like Elmer's glue, but I use an off-brand that I pick up at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So just PVA glue, inexpensive one. No water. So it's the Versabond Portland cement and glue. And you get this really nice clay that sets up. It is waterproof, right? And so it's going to be able to sit right out there in your yard for you to be able to enjoy. And of course, when we're all finished here, and we'll talk about that when it comes time, but when we have the house completed with our little embellishments and those things that we want to do, we're going to cover the whole thing in a polyacrylic to ensure that it's waterproof. So a polyacrylic, so that our acrylic paints or our latex paints that we're going to use will stick to that. I don't want to use anything else, just polyacrylic. Once you've applied the polyacrylic and it has dried and set overnight, you could come back then and use the whatever your favorite outdoor paint is to then paint all of the parts. So we'll talk about that when we get to that part of it. But here we are with our clay. We're going to do our same fun thing and get the portions wet with my glue water. All right, get the portions wet that we want to add embellishments to. All right, got my little clay in a bag. I've got my glue water, and I have a few little tools here that's going to help me do some sculpting. So what we're just going to do, we're just going to pinch off pieces of our clay, roll it out here, you know, just like playing with clay as a kid, right? Roll it out here, make it look like what you want it to. I used to, you're all probably way smarter than me around this, but I used to want this to look like a stonework around the doorway, and so I would do one stone at a time. Let's not do that. What we want to do is go ahead and create maybe just a little rope of the clay. Stick that on there, like so. Okay, we're just going to stick it on. It's wet, and so it's going to stick really nicely. We'll just make it fit all the way around that door. As fat, as skinny, as wide, as whatever you want. And then what you're going to do is, get that wet a little bit there, put on a little more rope. And it doesn't have to be exact because this is going to end up being like a little stone border around my door. And so all I'm going to do, right, is with one of my little tools, I'm going to go through here and just kind of dent this all the way around. And with that, then I can just kind of make it look like little rocks. And these are going to last a little better and stay on a little better because it's still all connected as cement, but it's got little cuts in it. Don't go all the way through. Makes it look like rustic stone pieces that they've created to go around that doorway. Yeah, see? All the way in like that. Then I can come back with my glue water on my finger. Make sure that it's all glued down. I like to use a paintbrush to do this job also. And I'm just making sure that that edge is completely squished down to that cement house. So you don't see a seam really. That's what I'm doing. I should put my glasses on. I spent the last 2 days at my office working. I was training new employees. And I kept trying to look at my computer as I'm helping them know what to do. Who's in charge of my glasses? Well, somebody out there, please make sure I have my glasses on my face. So I'm sitting here straining trying to see. And I just got to put the glasses on my face. So, you know, old and senile. Somebody out there tell me you get me, okay? Anybody else out there straining to see and your glasses are sitting on the top of your head and you just forget to put them on your face? There we go. It's cloudy here today. It's kind of nice. It's not cold. It was chilly this morning. Not cold now, but it's a nice overcast day. It's a nice time to be out here. The sun's not blaring in my face. And that is going to set not too quickly, but it will start to set on the outside, and you're not going to want to mess with it then, so it won't crack. Okay, so just kind of get that all on. And I do like it to be nice and smooth on these edges here. I want to make sure it's really glued down. I don't want it to pop off later. I've not had that happen because I do make sure it's glued down pretty good. I've done the same thing on this interior. I've gone all the way around it and make sure that I have feathered this cement clay right to that doorway so that it is actually attached. Okay, and then I can come back and fix these little guys here. Use my paintbrush. There we go. And it's okay if it looks rustic. Remember, that's what I'm going for. If you want yours to look really fine, go ahead and take time to make all of those separate stones. That looks really cool, right? It's just, you know me, it's not what I'm usually going to do. If I can get the effect I want in this other way, this is what I'm going to do. There we go. So this is now the entryway to that doorway. I'm shoving that over so it looks a little bit, what's the word? There's a word. Do you all forget words? Symmetrical. That's what looks kind of symmetrical. That's what I want. So I can kind of move it over so that the doorway is symmetrical on either side. There we go. Gonna wet my windows here. So I am going to put the same treatment around the windows, and I am going to put like what looks like a little window box there after. So on the windows, I'm just going to bring it across the top like this. Smush it on. Everybody thank Linda for this wonderful fun clay recipe. This is by far my favorite cement clay, better than any of the ones I have come up with using the paper, right? I like this. It just moves so much nicer. And I don't have to, you know, blend up paper. That's a whole extra step we don't need to do. So anything to save us time, money, and energy, right? There we go. I'm going to get my finger wet here and make sure that that's glued right down in there. So see, I've made like a little awning over the window. That will be stone. Oh, hold on. I just had a brilliant idea. I got so excited. I found these little tiny glass mosaic squares at the Dollar Tree. They are just the right size for this creation. Oh my gosh. Y'all do the same thing I do, right? You find stuff and you pick it up for $1 here, a couple of dollars there, and you go, I don't know what I'm going to use this for, but I have to have this, right? So make me feel better, because you all do this. I know you do. So, oh, I can use these. I'm going to embed these into this cement clay as I'm working here. So I'm excited. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my windowsill on here, and I am going to put those tiles right in. Ah! Look at that. I am excited. Embedding these in. So it's kind of like doing mosaics, but these are just going to be right into the clay. So they're just gonna, that clay is just gonna dry right around them. I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited. It might be easier for you to just glue them on and do the grout around them, but I want them to kind of stand out away from that window a little bit. I'm excited. This center one is a little off kilter. Let me get that moved over there. Well, I'm excited. There we go. Where's my paintbrush? Okay, glasses on. I did all that without glasses on. That was not good. I'm just gonna put this, feather this cement clay right around it. Oh, I am so happy that I bought those beads. They're not beads, they're little tiles. I'm very happy. It's great. That, my little cough, I just had to itch in my
My
throat.
oldest
Granddaughters. She's 17. Anyway, she's home from school today, not feeling good. So I made her a pot of homemade chicken noodle soup. We make our own noodles around here. And so that's pretty special. So I made my chicken noodle soup for her. And for the first time, she drove up here to see Grandma. She was so nervous, so scared, using the freeway on her own for the first time. Her mother was following her on the GPS. Her mom's at home, and so she was following her in real time. She says she got off on the wrong off-ramp, but she's on her way. When did they grow up so fast? Oh, my goodness. It's my oldest granddaughter, 17 in May. So excited. It was fun to have her drive up here to see me all on her own. It was exciting. There we go. That's where I want it. Just like so. You know what I'm going to have to do now? I'm going to have to go back and put tiles all around this doorway. I forgot I had them. So we're going to put that right there like we did on the other side. Smush it all around. I'm going to be very excited when this little thing is done and it's sitting out in my yard. I have just the space for it. There we go. So that one's in. That went really quick. You can go ahead and add a little water to this clay if it starts to get just a little too stiff, and it'll soften up for you really nicely. Get tacky the way we want it. We want it to be just a little tacky. I'm not wearing my gloves today because I'm actually doing some sculpting, and I know I'm going to be sorry because my hands are going to be terribly dry, so I'm going to have to make sure I do a lot of moisturizing. I just use coconut oil. Not a lotion. I actually just use the coconut oil. I have some in the kitchen, and I have some in my bedroom that I moisturize with. So there's that. So now we're going to put in our yellow tiles across here like we did before. Ta-da! All right, so I'm just going to keep working on this little house. If I do anything new and fabulous that I've not shown you before, I will pause and show you what I'm doing. But I'm just going to, it's going to be an awful quiet time because once I get in the zone, you know, I don't talk much. Doesn't happen often. So, we'll be back. Okay, so done some work here. I went ahead and put a little sign on it. Using the clay. I still have a little bit more of this clay left, and I've gone ahead and finished up my window sills here. These I went ahead and glued on, and I'll come back and do the grout in between those. So these are glued on, but all of these others on this side I put them inside the cement, and on this side inside the cement, just like that. And on the welcome sign, just pushed them right into the cement there. Now what I'm doing is I have decided, I made an executive decision. I decided to go ahead and secure the roof to the house. And so I'm using the last bit of my clay, and I have dampened the house edge up here, and I have gone ahead and put that into the shape I want it, and the roof will sit right on there and glue right down to it. So that's what we're going to do here. Okay, so stick with it. I'm going to dampen my clay so it's a little more tacky and a little more sticky and soft. Remember, there's glue in there, so that's really going to help us out with the roof sticking on here. And I'm just shaping it to the shape of my arch, or my, I don't know, what is that part called? I'm not a house builder. Getting it wet here so it'll, and then I'm smoothing it down so it's all attached really well. This is my roof, and I'm dampening the edges of my roof so that those will all stick together good. Okay. So the final things to do for this little house is to go ahead and, when everything is set and dry, go ahead and grout. Let's see. There we go. Grout around the doorway. And then we're ready to paint. Our little guy, we're going to do the polyacrylic first on the whole thing, and then we're going to paint it. Little guy says we should paint the house green and the roof purple. So we'll probably do that. Okay. Okay, we're back at it. The house is all set. The grout's all in. I gave the whole house a little light sand just to get off the really rough edges. And so now I'm getting ready to paint it. And so what I'm doing here is I'm going to put on some gold paint. I'm using a dry brush method. So if you look here, I have put black paint all inside the letters. Just did a whole bunch of black paint, let that dry, and now I'm going with just some gold paint. So let's see if we can finish this little part up. I thought little guy might join us this afternoon, but he's busy watching a little Star Wars on TV. So, but he did give me the color scheme. We're supposed to go with the purple and the green. So that's our color scheme, and I've decided to do this sign in a nice gold. This gold turns out really nice. So we're just going to do just a light brush over so that the paint doesn't end up inside the letters. So I'm just using very little paint going right over those letters. You can see it. And that makes the black pop out. Oh, once again, don't have my glasses on. I'm trying to do this without my glasses on. This is a really highly gold paint, Deco Art Metallics. I get it at Hobby Lobby, and it just doesn't take very much for it to really pop out. That gold is such a great color right there. Very highly metallic. I'll come back later and put a second coat on here. There we go. Get it right under that mosaic work that I did. There we go. Don't worry, we're going to be able to scrape it right off the glass, or right off the little glass tiles. If we get it on there, that's not a crisis. I do want to get the cement all covered underneath those. There we go. Yay! All right, very good. Now let's just take our purple. This is our indoor, interior, exterior Behr paint samples. Remember, you can get those paint samples at your hardware stores. And it's great coverage for very little money. Before I started painting, I did the whole house using polyacrylic. So this is going to make this much more waterproof and weatherproof. So I did the whole house in polyacrylic. Now I'm going back over with just the regular paint, regular house paint. When I finish the whole project, then I will use a clear spray paint to add another layer of protection. These little houses that I make, they sit out in my yard year-round. Now, we don't get like hard freezing weather, maybe a week in the winter time. Didn't even happen this year. But what they do get is they get a lot of sun, and we have our sprinklers running once or twice a day, especially in the summer, a couple times a day to keep my garden alive. So they're getting a lot of water wear, if you will. And so I want to make sure that they're going to be very water resistant. We don't get rain much. It did rain yesterday and last night, which was really nice. I have flowers that are beginning to sprout now because they like the rainwater much more than the hose water. So just after our rain yesterday and last night, my flowers are starting to sprout. Sunflowers and nasturtiums. I'm so excited. Oh, there we go. While I do the other side, this side will dry, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do to give it just a little pep, a little more spark, and a little more dimension. So what I'm doing is, it's a little bit hard to see with the sun shining on it at this time of day. So you'll see it again after I finish, but now what I'm going to do is go ahead and work on the main part of the house, getting all of the green on and doing some highlights on that. Here we go. I did brown and bronze on the awnings and bronze around my flower boxes, gold on the welcome sign, and on the house I base painted it brown, not all the way, just splotchy brown, just scribbled all over it, then went over it in green, and then some of my shading that I like to do with the black, just a little bit of black around, because this just is so that everything pops out, it recesses everything. Not in a hard black line, but just in a real, I use a very small paintbrush and just a really kind of feathery black outline on everything. It just makes everything kind of pop out. And so the house in and of itself, what is it? Brown, green, a little black for the highlights, and then I did some yellow. I just went lightly over just some yellow splotches here and there, and kind of feathered that out. And that gave me that rustic old world look that I was going for. The roof I did in that purple. and went over it again with some dark red a little bit and then some brown just to give it that a little weathered look and rustic look there. I think it turned out really cute. I like that. Oh my goodness. This is going to get a clear coat of spray paint, just clear semi-gloss spray paint over the whole thing, and then it's going out in my garden. I hope you've enjoyed this project. Let me know. I'm sure I've skipped things, but I'm going to make another one. It's all ready. Here it is. Going to make another one. When I make this one, this is the one I will show you how I did the paper mache over it. I didn't show you that on this one. I did that step without all of you. And so I'm going to show how I did that step on here. And then I can also show you how I'm going to embellish that one. I think that one I'm going to do a little bit more mosaics on those. I've got so many colored tiles that I can use to do some mosaic on that one. That sounds like fun. So, all right. Well, thanks so much for joining me and enjoying this little project with me. Dax had a great time. He was pretty nervous, but had a great time. He thinks he wants to do this with me again. Some of these long projects are a little too much for him, but that's okay. He's only 10. So maybe you'll make one of these too. What do you think?